This photo looks terrible, bad lighting, flat colors and messed background. But in the next few minutes, I will turn it into a professional photo using Photoshop. So this is the final edited image. As you can see, this is the before and this is the after. So stick around as I show you the step by step how to edit it. So firstly, I will edit this group, and when I zoom in, you can see that the image is totally dark. As you can see, on the legs, on the face of the model, this means its lighting is actually bad. So firstly, we will first work on the lighting, and then another thing, when you zoom in, you can see that the colors look dull. They are not professional enough, as you can see. So, and then the skin tones are uneven, and the last thing, you can see that the background is distracting. But I'm going to edit it and get a professional photo from this bad image. So firstly, I will duplicate the layer by dragging the background layer into this. Then I'll add up on the filter and then Pappelallee. Remember, we are going to first work on the lighting because the lighting of the image is totally bad. So we have to first work on the lighting. So as you can see that the image is underexposed, so I will try to increase on the exposure so that we lighten up our image a little bit. I think that is enough for the image. So the next thing is I will try to reduce on the highlights of the image around -40, and then I will try to roll up or to reduce on the whites in our image. So the next thing is I will try to play around with the blacks, and then I will try to increase on the contrast a little bit. On the shadow part, I will try to increase on it a little bit, and so far you can see the before and then after. You can see that the image is looking perfect after doing the lighting part. So the next thing is I will try to cool down the image. As you can see, the image is somehow looking more warm, so I will try to reduce on the temperature to around -3, and so far you can see the before and then after. So after that, I'll just click OK, and so far you can see what you have got. So the next thing is I will try to clean up the background before editing the image. So the next thing is I will try to duplicate another layer, so by cleaning the image or the background. So firstly, I will try to use the patch tool. So I will come to the tools and select the patch tool. This will help me to remove these unwanted objects by circling it and dragging it to a clean place. As you can see, circling it and then drag it to a clean place, get a perfect look on the background. So I will try to do this, clean up the background. And so far you can see the before and then after, before and then after, and we are not yet done with the background. So the next thing is I will just come to the select and then use the select subject. This will help us to select the subject so that we separate it from the background. That will help us to edit the background around without disturbing the subject. So as you can see that the Photoshop is trying to select the subject from the background. As you can see, it has selected the subject, but when you zoom in you can see that some areas are not selected. So what you have to do for this, just need to come to the here on the quick selection tool. So this will help us to select these parts which were not selected by the Photoshop itself. So I will try to select unselected parts by using the lasso tool. As you can see. So the next thing is you have to try and zoom in onto the image so that you select, you know, this Photoshop is not perfect enough, so you have to take time and look on the selected parts so that if the Photoshop missed a part, you can reselect it and get a professional selection using the quick selection tool. So you can see what I'm trying to do. So, and another thing, I will try to also to select this box. I want to include it in this selection. So as you can see now, I'm trying to select the subject so that I get the perfect or the professional results. So after selecting the box, after selecting the subject, I will just click Ctrl J or press Ctrl J to subtract the background with the subject. So the next thing is I'll just come and pick my white background here, and I will just drag it onto the image, as you can see, and I will try to scale it up so that it fits on on this image. So after that, I'll just come and drag this layer or subject layer and drop it on the background. And so far you can see that the background on the downside is still there, so we have to remove this so that it matches with this background we have just added on. So in order to remove this down background, or where the model was standing, I will just need to come on the pen tool here on the tools and select the pen tool. So I'll just use the pen tool to select or to cut it out, or to cut this click OK. So when the subject is selected, I'll just press the backspace button to delete that down background. And so far you can see that the image is now fit, or has fitted on the background correctly. So as you can see that the background is a little bit highlighted, so I will try to reduce on the highlights in the background. So I'll just come to the filter and then camera raw, and then I'll just try to reduce on the highlights of the background. And so far you can see the before and then now. So after that, just press OK. So right now, the next step is we are going to try to clean up clean up the model's skin, or we are going to try to work upon the model skin. So right now I'll just come and group these layers and name it background cleaning. So far you can see the before and then after, the before and then after. And after that I'll just press the Ctrl Shift Alt E to make a new copy of this layers. So the next thing is I'll try to clean up the model's skin. So I just need to come and get the patch tool, and then I will try to select this car and drag them onto the clean place. So after that, the next thing is we are going to try to play around with to smooth the skin using the frequency separation. So I'll just come and make a new layer from this, or let me delete this. Let me put this layer into this group. So let me make a new layers by pressing Ctrl Shift Alt E and then make another copy. So after that I just come select the Gaussian blur which will be suitable for this image. So for now let me select the 1.5 for better results. After that come back with the layer and then image and then apply image. So as we selected before the addition and the layer 4, and press invert, and so far you can see that the sharpness is reduced. So after that come and press OK, and then come to the blending mode and select the linear light. So after that zoom in and come and select. I will be using the lasso tool to quicken up my workflow. So I just come and make sure that the feather is around 18. So come and select the part. After selecting, make sure that the layer 4 is selected. After selecting, come to filter and then Gaussian blur, then increase accordingly. Increase the radius up to where you feel that it's, or you feel like it's comfortable for you. So select each part. You can always reduce on the radius according. So far you can see that this is the before and then after. You can see the before and then after, the before and then after. If it's too much, you can always play around with the opacity. You can always play around with the opacity. If it's too much, you can see the before and then after. So far you can see where we started and where we have reached. So far you can see we started from here to here and then to here, and we are not yet done, so stick around. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss videos like this. So, and the next thing, you can see that the skin tones are not even, so we are going to try to make the skin tone even. So, and we are going to be using the eyedropper tool to sample the skin tone. So right here I'll just come and press Ctrl Shift Alt E to make a copy of these layers. So right here I'll just come back to the select and then select subject. So right now we are going to try to make the skin tone even. So right here I'll just come to the blending mode and then select the color. So after that I'll just come to the eyedropper tool and I will try to look for the mid-tone skin tone. So right here I'm trying to look for the skin tone to use. I think this will be good for us. Let me select here, or let me select here. So after selecting the skin tone according to your liking, just come to the brush and then you start brushing. And here you need to be more careful while brushing the skin tone, because there is some parts which are sensitive, like the eyes. You don't need to brush in the eyes. So and see it's looking somehow messy, it's not looking good or professional. This is looking too much. So what we are going to do is to reduce on the opacity up to where we feel like the skin tone is enough, and I think that will be enough for this image. So, and when I zoom in, you can see that the lips are not looking good because some parts are looking black. So in order to balance it, you need to come to the brush and then the opacity and lower the opacity on the floor, and come and pass on the lips and on these parts of the eyes. And so far you can see now it's looking great. And there is other parts where I brushed or where the brush accidentally brushed, as you can see on the cloth. So what you need now is to delete this brush on the all this skin tone on the clothes, on the model's dress. So what we are going to do is to mask this layer and come and select the white layer, and then come and select the brush, increase on the brush, and then come and delete or remove this unwanted skin tone on the model's dress. So far you can see what we have done. And the next thing is I'm going to try to reduce on the reddish in this image on the model's skin. So what we are going to do is I'm going to come to the hue and saturation and then select the reds and then reduce on the lightness. This helps us to reduce on the reds in the image. So after that I'll come back to the adjustment layer and then select the selective color. For now I just come to the blacks, and then I will need to play around with the cyans of the black. And so far you can see the changes in this image. And after that I'll just come and group this and rename it skin tone balance. So far you can see what we have done so far. When I remove this layer, as you can see, we started from here and then here and then here and then here so far. So the next thing is I'm going to try to remove these shadows on this box. So what we are going to do is I'm just going to duplicate the layers by pressing Ctrl+Shift+E, and then I will just come to the quick selection and then select, or I will just need to come to the arm of this model and select it. So after selecting it, I'll just press Ctrl+Shift+I to put an inverse in this image, and then I'll just come and sample on the white to get the white color of this box, and then come to the brush and then start brushing to remove. And you can see it's too much, so I will just need to reduce on the flow and the opacity a little bit, and then come and brush out this shadow, as you can see. So that is how easy to remove some shadows in the image. And so far you can see the before and then after. You can always come and reduce on the opacity. So after this, come and group it. Come and group it and name it shadow removal. Shadow removal. So the next thing is I'll just come and make another layer by pressing Ctrl Shift E. So another part here is I'm going to try to sharpen this image. So I just come to my actions. I have a sharpen action I made. So I just come and press my sharpen action. I just need to wait a little bit of seconds, and so far you can see the before and then after, the before and then after. If it's too much, you can always come and reduce it a little bit, and so far you can see the magic. So after sharpening the image, what we are going to do is I'm going to whiten the eyes. So I'll just come to the hue and saturation, and then drag this saturation all the way down, and I'll just come and press Ctrl I, invert the image, and then select the brush, and then switch to black on the color swatches, and then come and select the mixer brush as white brush, and then come and brush the eyes. So after that, you can see the before and then after, before and then after. And you can always reduce on it. And so far you can see where we started and where we are right now. You can see we started from here, then to here, and then to here, and then to here, and then to here, and then we are right here. So always remember, when you are about to start editing or before editing, it's important to understand what's wrong with the photo so that you do it in order to get a professional look. And always, as you can see, flow style adjustment helps us to recover details and balance the lighting. So the next thing is I'm going to add in another dramatic feather in the background, but firstly let me try to light up on these shadows, as you can see on the legs, on the arms. So what we are going to do is we're going to just come and press Ctrl Shift Alt E. So after that, I just come to the filter and then Pappelallee filter. We are going to try to lighten up the shadows. So I just come to the shadows and increase on the shadow so that the image pop. As you can see, and if it's not balancing, you can always come and get the quick selection and select on the parts you want to balance light, and then you can always come to the adjustment and then shadows and highlights. Here you can balance the shadows and highlights perfectly, as you can see. So after that, you can see when I group these layers, you can see the before and then after, the before and then after. So far we have finished the color balance, another thing, fixing the exposure, fix the colors, gain the skin, and then improving the skin tone. And another thing we finished is enhancing the background. So another thing we are going to try to do, or a final thing, is we are going to try to balance or color grade this image. So what we are going to do is I'm going to come to the adjustment and then come to color balance. Right here I'm going to try to balance on the color in this image, the skin tone and the color of the hair and other colors. So right here I'll just come on the midtones and then I'll just try to reduce on the cyans. On the magenta, just to try to increase a little bit of greens, and then after that I'll just come to the shadows and then I'll just add a little bit of blues in the shadow area, and then on the reds and cyan I'll just reduce on the reds and then add a little bit of greens, and then on the highlights I can add a little bit of highlights at around 2 and reduce on the greens, and then add a little bit or reduce on the And so far you can see the before and then after. When I zoom in, you can see the before and then after color grading, the before and then after. So far, as you can see, when I group all these layers into one group, you can see so far the before and then after, the before and then after. So the next thing what I want to add in is this background in this image to make the background stand out. So what we are going to do is I'm going to group this, or I'm going to press Ctrl Shift D to duplicate this, and then I'll duplicate the layer and then come to the select and then select subject. So try to select the subject. Remember, you're going to trying to subtract it from the background. So after selecting the subject, press Ctrl J to subtract it from the subject from the background. Come and pick this and then bring it in the image. Scale it up. Scale it up to make it fit the background. So after that, come to the braining mode and then look for the braining mode which is suitable for this image. So you can see that lighter color will be perfect for this. So just come and select the lighter color. And right here you can always play around with the opacity. You can always play around with the opacity, as you can see. And so far you can see the before and then after, the before and then after. So after that, you can group them and make a group of this. Make a group, and so far you can see the before and then after, the before and then after, and you can see that, and so far you can see this is the before and this is the after. This is the before and this is the after. Would you believe this came from the original photo? Let me know in the comments if you want me to fix more photos in Photoshop. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Photoshop editing tips. See you in the next one. Bye.